All right, everybody, I'm just throwing together some tips for finishing designing your presentation and then also for getting ready to present. So, just to review a couple things we talked about on Thursday, there's some key things to think about when you're designing your presentation. Make sure your contrast is good. Make sure you honor the 5x7 rule or roughly there. Don't put too many words into it. Make sure you've got multiple forms of information, not just clip art pics and text. Figure out what from your data you can put in there. Then make sure that you've got some variety within the flow, that it's not the same color font on the same color slide in the same spot over and over again. Make sure that you have the spelling, grammar, and capitalization double checked. And then if you want to go in and put transitions, some video clips, animations, other things to make it more interesting, do that. Your second task, just to review some other stuff, is make sure, like I said, no poor contrast, don't use text language, don't write every single word you're going to say. You have the option to use the notes box in slides or make note cards, but don't put everything up there so you can just read it. Make sure you don't put graphics or pictures on just to fill space or just to make it quote unquote interesting. Make sure your color is balanced. And then also make sure that you don't have lots of unused space. This slide right here has tons of what would be called white space, even if it wasn't necessarily white, or dead space. This is a poorly designed slide. Whether I change the line spacing here or I put in some graphics or something, this is a poorly designed slide from the use of space as well. Before you start your presentation, once you have it done, you want to make sure you practice ahead of time and you understand material and know what you're talking about. Okay, make sure that you practice the pronunciation of your difficult words. If you have some technical words, some medications or some other medical terms or plants or other things that you're not sure how to pronounce, make sure you find out and that you practice them so that you are comfortable when you are talking. Okay, if you mispronounce a word, it's going to make you more nervous and it's going to make your presentation less believable. And then when you do your rehearsal, whether you're rehearsing your slides and see how it fits into what everybody else is doing, or you rehearse as a group, your target on this project is to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 minutes. So if you're grossly past that or grossly short of that, you may want to adjust, especially if you're thinking of putting something interactive in, like a Kahoot or something else like that. Practice it with a live audience so you get an idea of how long it's going to take so that you don't end up getting cut off before you have a chance to present all your information. During your presentation, it's important that you remember to make eye contact. Okay? That you are, as you're going through, that you fake eye contact or you make eye contact. Also make sure to talk in a confident and appropriately loud voice. Making sure that you do that is helpful. Don't hesitate if you get nervous and you feel yourself picking up speed and going faster or mumbling. Take a deep breath and pause for a second. Breathe in one deep breath like you would for choir or band, and then start talking again. That 2 seconds may feel like an eternity, but it will help settle you down, and the audience is not going to notice it as a big deal. Resist the urge to be impulsive and putting out, shouting things out or saying things just to try and be funny because you're nervous or something during the presentation. There are opportunities to do things that may be a little bit funny, but you really need to resist the urge to just do some impulsive things or say some impulsive things or impulsively pull answers out of thin air by like elaborating on something you don't really know, but you want to make it sound better, so you just spin some stuff off. Also control your nervous mannerisms, whether it's rocking back and forth, tapping on something, fidgeting with something, or interacting with the audience while one of your teammates is presenting. Do your best to make sure that you are not doing something that detracts from the presentation. So on Monday at the end of the day, make sure that you are ready to complete and turn in everything. Okay, you'll do your peer evaluation slip for your teammates on Monday, excuse me, or on Tuesday, depending upon which class period. I want you to make sure that you share or send to me your presentation, your list of sources, and then your infographic, your newsletter, or whatever. If you made a hard copy, then you need to make sure that you get a hard copy to me by presentation day. And then hopefully you've rehearsed your presentation so you can rock it and it goes really well. And then as we're going through the presentations, there will be a peer observation worksheet that you're filling out. And that is the story of getting ready for your presentation for the Project Northland project.